Ibn Khaldun was born in 1332 in Tunis, in the area of what is today known as Western Libya or Eastern Algeria. He was the descendant of a prominent Muslim family, which afforded him a high-class classical Islamic education, during which he got to study alongside some of the most prominent teachers of his society. He spent some time on a career in politics and thereafter wrote quite extensively on the topics of history, sociology, economics, demography, and politics. Khaldun belongs to the school of classical economic thought and is perhaps most well known for being labeled as the father of modern economic thinking, although this is somewhat contentiously because this is a title sometimes given to Adam Smith. Khaldun, however, introduces some fundamental economic ideas some 370 years before Smith even makes his first publication. What are Khaldun's most important theories? Given how extensively he wrote, it's quite hard to sum these up in a 5-minute video, but here's some of his most important contributions. Firstly, Khaldun gives us the first indication of a labor theory of value. In other words, Khaldun suggests that the exchange value of an object is related to the amount of labor time that is spent in its production. This lays the foundation for the contemporary economic idea of marginal productivity, which most economists recognize as essential for the growth of a prosperous society. Now, this idea of a labor theory of value was first attributed to Adam Smith. Secondly, Khaldun introduces some fundamental tools of analytical economics which we still use today, including demand, supply, prices, and profit. Khaldun theorized the relationship between demand and utility as opposed to need. In other words, he says that demand arises from the utility that people get from purchasing goods as opposed to their need for those goods. He also laid the foundation for modern cost and supply theory by speaking about the relationship between production costs, supply, and price, and all of this was found in an economic context of income and consumption. He also laid out the seminal concept of profit as reward for future risk. He offers the analogy of a man who hoards up grain and waits to sell it until the prices of grain increase. This gives us the fundamental mantra by which most contemporary entrepreneurs still live: buy cheap and sell dear. Thirdly, Khaldun offers the basics of macroeconomic theory. For example, he identified the multiplier effect. That is, increasing demand leads to increasing growth, which leads to an increase in civilization's prosperity. He also identified the relationship between capital accumulation and stages of economic development. He spoke about government's role in prompting economic growth through spending and market regulation policy. He laid the foundations of tax theory and also spoke about the economic value of foreign trade. So, as you can see, Ibn Khaldun said a lot of important things for modern economic thought. There is an undeniable relationship between Khaldun and Adam Smith. Joseph Schumpeter says this: while Adam Smith was indeed an important economic philosopher, he was a mere collector of previous economic thoughts. He eloquently presented these ideas in detail and in an excellent new form and style. Nevertheless, by comparison, Ibn Khaldun was far more original than Adam Smith. So, as students of the history of economic thought, this leaves us with an important question: who was the true father of modern economics? And indeed, where did Adam Smith get some of his seminal economic theories? Nevertheless, Ibn Khaldun is important because he has bequeathed us with ideas, tools, and policies which built the foundation of classical economics and are still used by states and scholars across the world today.